It might be a little hard to hear. You have a little torpedo heater blowing in the back of the shop. But I will say, the heat, ducks I ran, A-okay, man. She gets up to about 55 in here now, almost 60, depending on weather outside. 10 degrees outside right now. And right now in the middle of the shop, we're 50. So, can't beat that. All right. So, today's agenda is putting that little 352 together right there for a customer. We have been busy. That thing has gotten a pretty good bit of work done to it so far. I haven't really showed much of it, but I have got a lot of work done on it. Me and my buddy did. And the customer that owns the 352 is the same customer that owns this Fox right here that we're smoothing the engine bay in, putting the cow panel and all that happy horse junk on. Which, cow panel, guess what? Is on. Right now, I just got like seam sealer across here. None of this has been cleaned up or touched up or none yet. But it's a hell of a lot better than an old crushed in cow that used to be up on here. And look at that. She's in there. She's looking beautiful. Once all this is cleaned up and painted, that look nice. Real nice like. And then, got the Scott Rod panels tacked into place right now. I still got to cut off sway bar mounts, get rid of that. And then I can, well, I could do it ahead of time, weld them holes shut in those towers. But I kind of stopped on it right now because the bearings came in for the 352. But I was having issues with it when I put the first main bearings that he had, where it would actually lock the motor up when he put the thrust in. And the clearance on the thrust, for some reason or another, was extremely tight. And I can figure is that they were made wrong. I talked to my buddy, Ed Thomas. He kind of like steered me through it a little bit, what to do to check them with that, because I had never had that issue. It's the first time for me. So here's what I had to end up doing to get my clearance out of the old bearings is, like he had said, just take and kind of sand them down a little bit, which I did. And dude, I got it all the way into the copper before I got my clearances, and I didn't like that. So I knew something was terribly wrong with those bearings. So I did have the customer go ahead and order a new set of king bearings instead of those, which I think they're a Cleveiter, so I can't remember now. Anyway, I gave him part number for the king bearings. I put those puppies in here, and dude, clearances all came out beautiful across the board. And not only that, but look at this right here. Now, you would never, ever, 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 before when I would tighten up the thrust, it would take 150 foot-pounds to get the motor to come around. And I have a finger on my left hand that will prove that, because it is jet black. Because I rolled it, and like an idiot, I put my hand over the rail, and it crank locked on my finger. Yeah, crushed the living shit out of it. And then we had to roll the motor back and get it out. And it hurt the baby a little bit. But, like I said, now, I mean, all my clearances across the board are beautiful. And not only that, but look at that. Woohoo! Dude, that spins like a dream now. That is the way it should be. So what are we doing right now, you may ask? Well, I got all the pistons mounted on the rods. I did that yesterday. Right now, I am measuring ring gap, making sure everything's good, which it should be. I mean, this is just pretty much it's 30 over, but it's just a cast piston. Bill put a little baby cam in it for him. He's not looking for a hot rod. He's looking for a little cruiser. It's got a little bump, 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 bump. You know what I mean? I already went through and did my rings, but I'm going to show you what I did here. Let me get it. All right, hold on. Let me get this. So, yeah, you get it. I mean, this right here, you take a piston, you just push it down in there so it's even. You don't want it all cockeyed or whatnot. 22 thousandths is what they called for. And when I measured it, that's what I'm getting now. Is my 22 thousandths finally. So that's good. I can do it with one hand here. A little hard. But anyway. Boom. 22. Right there in there. Right back out. So yeah. Those are perfect for what it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I already did top ring. Like I said, that was the second ring on the piston. I've already did all the cylinders. That was the last cylinder, but I just want to kind of show you what I was doing here. Well, guess we can cruise along now since we know that the ring gap's good. The bearings are good here on the crank. I'll put the rings on the pistons and we'll start shoving them in holes. And hopefully the rod clearances work out good, which I measured the crank, measured the journals. Seems like it should be fine, but we'll see at the end, I guess. All right, let's get on that real quick. Getting the rings on them. What I like to do is I kind of space them out. You know what I mean? The bottom one right here, you want to try to not put all the gaps together in them. Then what I'll do is, like my second, I'll put over here, not near wrist end. And then my top one, I'll flip it to the other side. And at the end of the day, they're going to rotate on the pistons anyhow. But I just want to kind of give them a fighting chance here, you know. So, that's something to look at. We've got 2 of them knocked in so far. So we are making progress. There's Cammy bolt. Oh, they sound pretty decent there. 515, 501, 107. Lobe separation. 226 and what, 241. Duration. I mean, that probably sound pretty good now. I would think so. So, rotating assembly is done. All clearances came out nice. Everything went together beautiful. Thank goodness. You know anything about the rear main seals are weird. It's 2-piece, you know what I mean, kind of like the old school. Then they have these little rubbers you got to knock in on each side, and then it looks like a nail almost. You got to knock down in there with them. That's the first for me. I've never had to do them. But there's something new every day. All right, I'm going to lube this old cam up here real quick, and then we can get her shoving up in there. So you get your big bottle of lube here, and just really start soaking her down here, because we all know flat tappet cams are not the same metal or something that they used to be. I used to run flat tappet cams all the time back in the day, but I'll tell you what, anymore, I would much rather not run a flat tappet cam, just because of the experiences I've been having with them. It's not been the world's greatest here lately, so. With that being said, I hope he has better luck than I have had with the last couple ones I have done. And then, once we get this and the bottom end done, we get the motor flipped over. Put the same kind of lube on the lifters there. Had my handle, you know. One of these days I'll buy one, maybe. Probably not. Probably not. Alright. So, I'm going to leave it right there for 1 second. You know what? You give it a little extra. You can get in there. You got in there. Gotcha. Ooh, she's stringy. How about you? Can I get you? Can't really get in those ones, but we can pretend like it. It's got so much on there, I don't think it's going to matter anyhow. So, yeah, like I said, flat tappets back in the day, I had no problem. I used to break them in regular motor oil. I didn't put anything on them but motor oil, and it worked. Not nowadays, dude. You can do the oils they want you to do and everything else they want you to do. And I'll tell you what, the stupid things will still yet seem to wipe a lobe. I don't know why. I know when I caught them, because I did 2 of them in Eileen. One of them lasted, I don't know, a month altogether. And the very next one I bought from them, one was a comp, one was a Lanati. The comp one wiped immediately. Like immediately. As soon as I was breaking it in, it was knocking loads off. And I did everything. Oil, break in, the zinc, lubed it, you name it, I did it. It just didn't work. So I hope this fella has better luck with it than I have had. Like I said, because I'll probably never run another flat tap a day in my life. After experience I've been having lately with them. All right. Well, the old cam be up in her. And put the timing chain up on it. We'll put the oil pump, pickup tube, rod. Throw the cover on it, throw the pan on it then, and we'll flip her over because I got to put some springs on the heads. I didn't know how to do that, but found that out now. You got the trick flow springs for it. So, we'll get that done. I think I might need coffee first or something. I think I might be running a little low on propane. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, let's get to working again. Still cruising along here. Time chain gears are done. Oil pump pickup's done. Except put a new rod in it because you know they're notorious for breaking. Reused the old one. Brake cleaned the pickup tube really good. Blew it all out real nice like. So that's good. And then the cam automatically comes with a new dowel. So you just make sure you put that in there. So now we are ready to slam timing cover on it. Then we put the oil pan on it. And then go woohoo! Flip her around. And I have to hammer the springs on these heads real quick. So, alright, now let me find a timing cover. Right there somewhere. Oh, it is time to put the oil pan finally. Just had to go get, because you got new bolts and everything, so I want to make sure I had everything here first before I do anything. I'm just put a little tiny goopy around it. Nothing major. She is getting closer. He said now next after this I have to put springs on the heads. That should be fun. That should be too bad because on how it worked out, pure dumb luck I guess. My pop showed up the other day with a bunch of stuff in his truck there he went and bought. And just so happened to guess what he had in there, a spring compressor. I don't know how that worked out, but it did. So I went ahead and grabbed that off of him. So that had to help doing that. Sometimes stuff just happens to work out, I guess. Right? Maybe? I don't know. Sometimes it does. Other times it does not. There we go. Go. Putting a little thin layer here on top of this high performance port gasket. Trying to get this thing done before I have to leave. That's my hopings. Got a leave spot right there. Gotcha. Beautiful. And it did get a pretty new oil pan to put on here. If I put it on right, dum. Forward and backwardness. But it's going to slide inside the tray right there. Did that slide in there? How about now? He slide in there now. How about now? He did now. Okay, thank you. All right. So there we go. Grab my bolts. It's always nice when you get new bolts. Probably should have put the washers on these things for anything else. But I'm the most intelligent person out there, as you guys may know. No, I didn't even try these. Why shouldn't I fit? It doesn't matter. We have the old ones. Nah, we're good. Yay. He wants to get this thing done for car show season. He said he missed all last year because it was down, and obviously Mustangs were down, so he didn't have really nothing to go out and tinker around with. We all know how that is. We've all been broke down while everybody else out pimping around. Kind of like the old wife and her Mustang here all last year, man. Felt sorry for her. She didn't get to do anything last year, man. Took it to dyno. I think February's the last time it ran then. Need to get her done now. Get a couple more of these bolts together. We'll get them hammered up in there. Alright, I ain't gonna make you guys sit here and watch me do every single one of them. But that would probably end up getting boring. You know my videos ain't the most exciting anyhow. I'll be right back. I'm sure a lot of people already know this little trick here. But the quickest way when you're pulling heads apart, so you don't have to sit here with a spring compressor pulling it apart, just take your socket and a hammer. Just give her a couple little taps like that right there, and it knocks the locks right out of it. It's a hell of a lot easier than have to sit here with a spring compressor on each one just to do that. So, tech tip for the day right there. Alrighty, got them tore down. Went to put the springs on. No go. So I stuck with stock springs. They're still good. Heads have already been redone. Springs obviously were good. They're stock. But the locks and retainers were incorrect. Valve diameter, if I can spit it out, it's too big for what he has. So it would not work. So like I told him, let's go ahead and stick stock springs back on it. Slam the heads on, and it will be a-okay. I've done it several times before. It's not like it's a big lumpy cam, and he's not gonna be racing it. This car probably will never see 5,000 RPM. So it will be perfectly fine. So let's go and get this thing here pounded on there. Get both of them on there and get them torqued in. She even says forward on them still. That's high power right there. All right, so there it is. He didn't have the push rods. Plus, if I'm not badly mistaken, I think you have to put the intake on it before you can even put the push rods in it. Because I think the push rods kind of go through the intake on these. Because where the intake's like part of the head a little bit. So it's like chop suey in the middle. So I think it is ready to pick up because he's going to do the intake and everything else and the balancer, paint it and all that good junk. I think it's about ready for pickup. So yeah, there's that one. There's one more thing to get out of here. Like I said, next thing will be that Mustang and that one over there. Get them out of here, I'd make more room. Then go get Eileen pushed up in here. Then we'll get started on Mayo. There'll be some videos coming here soon. Me getting it done. And like I said, the wife's car, I don't know. Whenever we figure out what's happening with it right now. It's kind of top secret right now. So I have no idea. And I know one thing, my lift that started leaking about a week ago, it's on and off, and I have cleaned it up, and I don't know where it's leaking from. Getting sidetracked. Anyhow, side job is starting to get done. So I have, what I have? Oh yeah. We got 70-80% of the parts for that car. The rest are somewhere backwards. It won't be here in March for some reason. I don't know why, but hopefully it comes sooner than that. And like I said, then we'll be on Mayo here. See some videos on it with the new motor. I got, sadly, I mean, the new motor's already been rebuilt. I rebuilt it once already, and it hasn't even ran. But when I did rings, I did it for NA because he wasn't worried about anything, and I'm going to supercharge, so I'm going to pull it back apart and re-gap the rings and get rid of it. It's got ARP head bolts. I'll probably put ARP head studs in it. So that'd be another thing I'm going to swap up on it. And then I have carburetor intake off of it and stuff like that I'm going to sell. Damn dogs and everything out here, man. So yeah, I'm telling you, like I said earlier, man, that cow panel, it's turned out nice, man. I've done a couple of them on them. And it's a lot of work when you use old because you got a 352,000 spot welds you got to get out. And like across here, I could have probably ground this down really sweet like after I welded it. And then mudded it, smoothed it, or I could even did away with this whole lip altogether and just made the firewall smooth all the way down. which I kind of thought about doing, but it's not my car, so I didn't do it. So yeah, we'll get that cleaned up, get some high build across that, get these panels all finished up and mud work all up around here, and get this thing up out of here. I figure I got another probably a few days worth of work left on that one. So then that'll be up out of here, like I said, and then we get Eileen up here out of the way. And once we get done with the fuel lines and everything on that car and the brake lines, we can get that off the lift. Now freeze that up, because I really could use that tomorrow. I gotta do oil change stuff on my wife's Hellcat, and I'll probably be doing that out in the snow where it's 15 degrees out, if that. It sucks. I have tempted to take it somewhere and pay for it. I got bird duty on my head. All right, well, I'm gonna end this video here on a good note that we finally got something accomplished in one video. We started it, building it, and we got it built all in one. Boom. Yeah. It's first for me. Never built 352 before. I've worked on them, obviously, because I've been around a bunch of old junk cars all my life, but never actually rebuilt one until that one. So now I can say I did that. All right, you ready to go in, puppy? Huh? Yeah, it's getting a little bit cold out in it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna shut the heat down, lock the shop up, and I am outie. It's too cold. I hate cold. Not all that cold in here, but it sucks. All right, peace out, G's. Till next time, we'll have another video.